irresponsible ass, and my wife probably got sick because of you. You want to lose their money, that's one thing. You get people sick, that is unacceptable. Clean up your hole.
No, did I?
Of course, because you don't know anything.
Not
you don't know anything, but you know how much you won last night, don't you?
No, I don't. You know why? Because I didn't win.
Good. You take another drink, I'll fire your ass in front of your brothers. That's the deal.
Who the are you talking to?
I'm talking to you.
Also known as the Gordon Ramsay of bars, Jon Taffer is a man who rants, screams, and berates failing bar owners. And you know, it's incredibly entertaining. But how did a college dropout turn out to be the king of rescuing bars? Hello everyone, welcome back to the Film Insight channel. In today's video, we're gonna reveal how Jon Taffer made it big in the bar industry. So sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's get straight into the content, guys. If you're looking for one good reason why Bar Rescue is such a hit, then it has to be because of Jon Taffer's bold personality.
Now I have to sit down with him and teach him what's wrong about his ways.
While Bar Rescue is Taffer's most well-known project, he's also a best-selling author, has his own podcast, has founded the Taffer's Tavern franchise, and works as a consultant for various well-known food companies. To put it mildly, he's undoubtedly immersed himself in the hospitality industry. But did you know that Jon Taffer was once a bartender? So how exactly did he get to where he is now? For someone with his level of expertise, it doesn't come to much of a surprise that Taffer has had some hands-on experience. You might feel like he's too impulsive with bartenders, but he has good reason to do so because he's been there. Taffer began his career behind the bar. In fact, his very first job was a brief stint as a bartender. After he entered the University of Denver, he began tending at the bar. Taffer's first professional position was at a Denver steakhouse named PT's. However, his first actual nightlife job was as a doorman at the very popular and notable Hollywood Troubadour. In an interview with Dr. Phil, he shared his experience on how he got started. He said,
I started as a doorman, believe it or not, because I was a musician. I was a drummer. Yeah. And I moved here as a drummer to pursue a musical career. So I would play at the Troubadour at night with bands sometimes, and I started as a doorman, ended up as manager.
Taffer also said that it was a great place to start, and it enabled him to grow into the professional that he is today. While speaking about his upbringing and his family of entrepreneurs, he said,
I was raised in an affluent place in Long Island. You know, I had a housekeeper, and my mother was really tough. My family was very, very tough on accomplishment and integrity and those kinds of things. You know, my family was very much involved in marketing, direct marketing. My grandfather invented direct marketing. He gets credit for that. So I've always been around marketing plans and creative plans. My grandfather wrote Eastern, The Wings of Man, and did Volvo commercials. So I've always been around these things.
When he was in college, he never dreamed that he'd be in this business. But to him, what made the difference was his ability to make people happy with fantastic food and drinks. Taffer always observed that if you perform hospitality well, you can make people smile. And he also believes that it's easier said than done. The famous rescuer started working in the bar industry in 1978 and became the owner of his first establishment in 1989. At that time, the music and degree of aggression were very different. People didn't even lock their front doors, but now that things have changed, there are several other factors to take into account before starting a business.
I'm showing my age here. Yeah. I had the record in St. Patrick's Day. I poured $4,200 that night in 1978 on my own. I had the record. I'm sure it's been broken since then, but I was darn good in my day.
Taffer is one of the most prestigious names in the Nightclub Hall of Fame. He was reportedly one of the inaugural honorees, according to the Business Insider. Taffer was admitted for all the expected reasons, including his work as the president of the Nightclub and Bar Media Group, his role in planning the Nightclub and Bar Convention trade show, and his management of the Nightclub and Bar magazine. How he manages to find so many hours in a single day is a mystery. The yelling and fighting while tackling weirdos on the show does make for entertaining television. But Taffer's teachings are all based on the things he's discovered throughout his nearly 40 years in the bar and nightlife industries. Even though Taffer has worked with more than 800 firms throughout his career and is one of the first people to be inducted into the Nightclub Hall of Fame, he claims to have never received management training. Instead, he acquired his knowledge through trial and error. Taffer told the world that it hasn't always been easy for him when he spoke with the Business Insider in 2015. He's awfully aware of the difficulties some of the bar rescue owners are experiencing. While he's staying quiet about most of the specifics, his first venture as a business owner was a startling disaster in which he lost $600,000. Speaking of failures, he said,
I've learned more about failure than anyone. You see, other people get paid to go to promising businesses. I get paid to go into worse businesses you can imagine.
In his book, Raise the Bar, Taffer states that a person's past experience only becomes important to the conversation if his personality and interpersonal abilities look right. Taffer claims that despite the money and opportunities he's lost over the course of his lengthy career, he doesn't regret anything. That's because the skills he's learned from them have helped him grow, which is invaluable. He openly admits that he's invested foolishly and has done dumb things while working. As a manager too, he made poor choices, lost clients, and even his job. Like the people he rescues, he underwent each of those things. But he believes that his worst blunders have taught him the most. Isn't it fascinating how simply failing can teach you so much about running a business? Taffer learned this very early on into his career. He shared his brick-and-mortar business secrets in the book we mentioned earlier, Raise the Bar, an action-based method for maximum customer reactions, which was released in 2013. Even though the book offers a comprehensive guide to starting and running a bar or restaurant, Taffer's business advice is not limited to Irish pubs and local clubs. So, how did Taffer come up with the idea of rescuing bars? Taffer's work is based on bar science. Taffer claims that his interest in researching the psychology of bars began when a chance encounter made him aware of the significant influence that a bar's design had on its patrons and their interactions. While speaking about his interest in psychology, he said,
So I've always studied human behavior. I've been fascinated by it. And political science is in so many ways human behavior. Contingency plans, I do this, you do that, the chess game, planning ahead. So I find all that fascinating.
He explained that it all began when he was simply relaxing in a bar one day when he noticed a man scouting out a lovely woman. Although he was attempting to appear casual, it was painfully clear what he was doing when he walked into a dead end. Taffer realized that observing how environment influences behavior was essential to create a successful nightclub, bar, or restaurant business. You probably already know that Taffer doesn't put up with employees that overpour, skim from the registers, or provide complimentary drinks. This is not something he's picked up recently. From his first days working at nightclubs, he's always had this mentality. While speaking with Vice, he spoke about a time when he first started working at Barney's Beanery just a few months after dropping out of college at the age of 24. Apparently, the workers had all agreed to take $100 of the profits each night that they worked. They insisted that he had to do the same, since failing to do so would cause the books to be incorrect. Taffer made the decision to set the tone for the remainder of his career by not joining in. He informed the business's owners, and as a result, the rest of the workers were fired while he was given the position of lead bartender. Before restoring their failing businesses, Taffer may scold bar owners into sobbing puddles, but despite that, most of them view him as a hero for helping them out. So Taffer might be a hero to many, but who does he see as a hero? In a Q&A on his website, he responded to the question and named Thomas Jefferson as his first mentor because of his vision, his convictions, his ambition, his politics, and his elegance. Howard Hughes, who was known for his originality and courage in venturing off the usual road, came after Jefferson, and then finally Walt Disney. Taffer asserts that Disney invented the reaction management technique that he employs at his bars.
Fact is, when I was young, I grew up in an environment, my family was successful. My mother, my father, my grandfather and stuff were successful. I also saw the consequences of not communicating at a young age because my mother was very difficult. So, I learned at a very young age, you better say the right thing in the right way, and you better not say things that cause moods to go in the wrong direction.
Apart from his family, Taffer claims that he was inspired by Disney, who watched his visitors' reactions as they entered and exited his theme park. Taffer has been involved in a number of projects in all of his life. Most notably, he developed an all-inclusive bar and nightclub management app, Bar HQ, for the bar operators in November of 2014. He invented the idea that led to the NFL Sunday Ticket while serving a 3-year term on the NFL Enterprises board. According to a Q&A on his own website, Taffer claims that he does what he does for the staff more than for the owners. What motivates him the most to continue what he's doing are the expressions before a big reveal. It's part of his profession, he claims, and he's grateful for the opportunity to transform people's lives. Take a look at his long-term goal.
The fact of the matter is, everything we do must create reactions. Those reactions drive frequency, drive spend, and fuel the economy of our country.
Although he admits that yelling is not something he enjoys doing, he's driven to do it on purpose sometimes. He said,
In reality, they'd throw me out if I said these things to them. So it's the fact that they've accepted my presence gives me the license to go at them in the way that I do and challenge them to reassess themselves.
He also said that there's a reason for his anger. He explained,
Say it in a way that they really hear me this time. So I say it in front of their wife. I say it in front of their children. I put them in a place of real discomfort. And I find, Phil, in that moment of discomfort, their brain seems to open up a crack and I can walk in.
he never loses sight of the fact that his goal is to find a solution to a problem. That's the main reason why people approach him in the first place. Now, let's get back to Bar Rescue. After 8 seasons and 232 total episodes, Taffer has undoubtedly aided several businesses in turning around. We've seen a variety of bars with a horrific amount of issues, but Taffer frequently finds a way to remedy them. Reports say that 92 of the 166 bars featured from the halfway point of Season 6 stayed open, while the remaining 74 failed to overcome their difficulties. Taffer told Bro Bible in 2014 that he's fully aware of what went wrong with each and every one of them. He added that he has no problem with the owners who decided to sell their establishment right after receiving an upgrade. At the end of the day, he left them in a better situation and he doesn't consider them as failures. Taffer follows 4 steps to draw some sense of responsibility into the failing bar owners. In his own words, they are:
First thing I do is I appeal to your pride. Do you want to be successful? How does it feel to be successful? And hopefully I can inspire you to change. If that doesn't work, then I'll appeal to your family. What's going to happen if you can't take care of your kids? Picture your kids, picture your wife. I try to get you to do it for them if you won't do it for yourself. Third is fear. How does it feel when you lose your house? What are you going to do when you have nothing? How are you going to feed your family? Now I've played pride, the family route, and fear. When that's over, now it's boot camp time. Now I have no choice but to beat the hell out of you. Because I have 5 days to change your life, and the fact is you're counting on me.
So guys, owning a bar may seem like everyone's ideal profession, but the reality is very different. Most individuals end up seeking Taffer's assistance because they want to prioritize their enjoyments over their work, but in a 2017 interview with Fox Business, Taffer claimed that this is much tougher than people realize. One way or another, Taffer's only aim is to uplift the business along with the owner's welfare.
Jon, I am speechless. That bar brought me to tears. Feels like a brand new home.
And here's proof to his well-meaning motive. Just take a look at how he gives the owner all the credit for the bar's success.
I thank Jon for that.
He thinks I rescued his bar. He really rescued his bar. I just gave him a little kick in the butt to help him get there, that's all.
I'm so proud of you, man. Thank you for everything, man. Thank you. I mean it, really.
Good to see everybody. Jon Taffer, y'all give us up!
For those of you who enjoy Taffer's outbursts and the dramatic makeovers of the bar, here's some good news for you. In July of this year, Taffer confirmed in a tweet that the 9th and final season of Bar Rescue was in production. So, who's excited for the new season? And what do you think of Taffer's approach to rescuing bars? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching, guys!